Yeah, I'll switch over to the mode. Actually, I'll switch over now so you can actually see what I'm doing. I didn't want to give anything away for Paul, but he already knows what I'm doing. So probably very much waiting for me to finish, and I'm apologize if some of the layout is messed up. Nope, the layout's fine. All right, let's see what we're doing here. Okay, I gotta figure out exactly. I haven't quite like figured out what I wanted with this layout, but we're going for like a little bit of an old school vibe here with these three characters. Haven't quite figured it out.
So deciding to leave NG somewhat in the open.
Yeah, I was hoping that basically the only thing that I have to worry about with the engineer here is like Bolt and a focused up chemist. So my problem would be a focused up chemist regardless of NG, whatever NG was doing, because that's a range damage. Yep. So NG is going to have a little bit of a problem right now. But he already has like maxed out elemental defense, so being behind someone wouldn't really have helped anyway. And I knew exactly this is what Paul's gonna do. He's probably just gonna nuke someone real quick, which is gonna be a pain in the butt. But what are you gonna do at this point? I like how in man, this is like the OG crew over here.
Yes,
I like how it's like what was it? Darkest Dungeon has that thing where you get like an achievement for like using like the OG 4 characters in like a thing. I can't remember, but it's like one of the first achievements that you get.
Fen showing off his extreme bias towards chemistry.
Extreme bias towards. I really like Chemist too, to be honest. I'm like just like a really big fan of all that. But we're gonna do something a little bit different here. I could have gone either way with this. I could have focused up the ranger at this point, but honestly, I kind of feel like I should have. Because kind of
the explosive round, you mean?
Yeah, but I think this does do like a decent amount of damage. Because what I want to do right now is really focus down a couple of characters. But I think I really do have to levitate. I just really don't want to be caught off guard by. Oh man.
Yeah, the chemist is a bit of a DPS demon. I like that term.
Yeah, it can be a problem sometimes. What do I want to do? So I think I'm going to cause a problem. That's what I'm doing. Did it trigger twice for the engineer? Oh, technically, yeah. Did it? I thought it only triggered once. Oh, maybe it did because it technically hit twice. Oh, okay, fair enough.
Good catch.
That is a very good catch. So Jason, you owe me 3 health on this battle. You owe me 3 health. What do we want to do? Gosh, this is a close one because I know. Yeah, let's just do that. This is. Oh, stay here. I don't know if that was a little bit of a waste doing that because I already have the bonus that I didn't use from last time. But it still technically gives me a little bit more damage. I can hopefully focus someone down relatively quickly.
Yeah, Fen, there were definitely streams in the past where I did just patch the server code as we were. I've tried to refrain from doing that so much and just to write it down and be disciplined. It goes on the list.
All right, someone's going to get nuked here, and I'm not going to like it. I mean, technically, Paul could go for a long-term strategy. That would probably annoy me greatly, but nuke is usually... Okay, I'm okay with that. Kind of. I'm kind of okay with that. I'm not going to say I'm fully okay with that, but thankfully...
If only you had a chemist on the team, you could heal that engineer.
Ah, get out of here. No more speed boost. Get out. No more of that. So I've got an interesting thing going on here where I could either... I'm assuming what's going to happen is I'm going to have an opportunity to hit... Well, it depends. I'm not going to say anything until Paul's done with this because I'm curious what he's going to do. What's it going to be, Paul? Where are you going to go? All right, we're going to do that. I think I'm okay with this, and so in this case, I think I know what I'm going to do here. Who is focused up? So I can't slam right now, but I can still do what I usually want to do here. It all depends on, let me cross-reference how much this explosive round. Oh man, so it does 12 to 13 physical to 1 target and then 7 to 8. So I think I do just want 2 targets, but the other way of doing this, oh man, it's kind of rough. I'm not exactly sure what I want to do here. I could pull back so I can get that done earlier. Oh, I didn't mean to do that. That's okay. My bad. I'm kind of messed up, but I think this actually goes with what I wanted to do anyway. So this is absolutely acceptable. All right, we're still going to try to be a tanky 2-character unit here. I'm leaving a lot of potential damage on the table, but... Because right now, I should have been supporting the engineer, unfortunately. I think maybe I could have gotten around that by delaying turn with the engineer and allowing the ranger to switch target. But... yeah, this is gonna be okay. This is gonna be fine. I'm just dreading the next nuke that's gonna come from Chemist. Oh man, I really want to get rid of them. No, get out of here. Gosh, I'm probably gonna have to. Yeah, we're fine. We're absolutely fine, I think. Because I'm pretty sure that engineer is gonna go pretty soon. I still want to be here though. Yeah, because we want that physical defense for a little bit. Yeah, the problem is Bolt always gets targeted really early, so kind of feel bad for Bolt, but I'm kind of nervous about that. Like, ideally, I would normally want to go for the warrior immediately because the warrior is really juicing the chemist up. But I think that would be slow going, unfortunately. Ugh, you're moving me out of there. Scared now. I want that speed back. It's fine though. In the grand scheme of things, I think we'll be okay. That speed tile doesn't quite move around my warrior too much. Kind of a back and forth here because the characters are stacking up in a favorable way for me for now, at least. But I still have to weather the next couple of turns, though. And one of them is a giant nuke from the chemist, so... Ah! Man, he really can't catch a break.
Yeah. If only you had
So
the pad
close
skill,
to.
chemist, you know, your engineer would be fine.
Yeah, I know. We were so close, but... Oh, man. What a bummer.
You did some damage in bolts on the brink there anyway.
Yeah, so I'm hoping I can do something very specific soon. But it's also going to depend on what this warrior does. Kind of intimidated. Okay, that's fine. I don't actually don't mind that as much. Okay. So theoretically, all right, look at that defense. So 20% damage reduction. I need to do 8. God. Oh man, that's gonna be real close though. Roll to 13, but plus extra 3. All right, I think I have to be a little. No, I could just take them out now. This is the sure thing. This is fine. Because if I do this, the ranger will be able to go again. So this should,
okay. Yeah.
this should be okay. Okay, that was just enough. All right. This will be fine now. And we want to go back to this tile. Well, no, because I can go faster, but it doesn't matter because I'm going to go again. So I want to get the damage multiplier. Okay. Little micromanagement here.
Optimizing that damage per turn.
What's up?
Optimizing that damage per turn stat.
Yeah, I'm trying to like optimize that as much as I possibly can. So I've got some. No, I don't have a banked one here. I do have that support though, so I think what I want to do is. Gosh, that's gonna be close. What I could do here is forego that so I can use a focus ability immediately. But I don't think that warrior's going anywhere soon, so I should just be okay to start doing some hack and slash, I believe. Actually, no, we're not doing that. We're doing this because I don't trust you at all. I do not trust at all. So I think I'm gonna get Paul into a difficult situation by doing this. Or at least that's my hope.
Okay. So you're switching to a bit more of a defensive.
Yep. So what I want to do is I want to make it so that this warrior has the least amount of things to do as possible. Okay, so my ranger is very healthy, so I don't care if I get whacked a little bit. Need that bonus damage. I'm going to do this. I'm going to move here. So the point of this is to make it so that the chemist, in order to do much of anything, needs focus. And my idea is I'm going to use off balance for as long as I can, and also use Sentinel, so the warrior has to make a choice of, like, do I try to focus up the chemist, but the chemist can't use focus, or do I attempt to melee attack with the warrior, but we have Sentinel stance, so yeah, they're going to take some damage. The problem with this has to do with how quickly the chemist can go again, basically. There's also some shenanigans that I think can possibly happen with delay turn.
There's always shenanigans possible with delay turn.
Yeah, there's always shenanigans possible. And thankfully, Paul did something that will help me a little bit, where I think I have to go all in here in order to push the timetable up a little bit. Gosh, what have we got? So we've got 2 focus abilities coming up. I can't do anything about that. That's still going to be a nuke, probably. Or it's going to be heal on that. 11 damage here. Gosh, I can't really do much of anything. And I don't want to go behind there because that focus ability is going to absolutely slam me really hard. So I'm going to have to do this. I know someone's going to get nuked, unfortunately, but what can I really do at this point? I'm just really scared of, like, 2 focused up characters on Paul's side. It's really threatening, unfortunately. Yeesh, okay. Starting to take some damage there. Probably gonna have to move off of that tile pretty soon. Gonna take 3 damage every round, which at this point is a lot. I could do a quick shot, but I don't think I can much there. If I do a delay turn into a quick shot, that'll do a little bit more damage, but I don't think it's going to be quite enough anyway. But does that really matter at this point? It might, actually. I think what I want to do is just make it as tight as possible for now. Yeah, we're just gonna do that, I think. Yeah, because I have to move them. Gosh, okay. Do it this way. If I focus up, all I would have to do is survive that. But that's still a lot of damage with that guard. How much damage does that do? That shove still does 15. No, I wouldn't quite be able to... Well, if I raise my physical defense by 40%... Oh, Jason, these are tough decisions. Actually, I don't have to do that at all, because I can do this. I can still slam. But we are going to still try to make it difficult by going back to Sentinel stance here. Not quite out of the woods, but I think we're getting close just because the Ranger's at such high health at this point.
Yeah.
That by the end, it's gonna only take 2 rounds probably to pick off those last 2 characters, I think. Just because of the last one standing bonus. So yeah, it's getting real close here, but I think we should be okay. Not sure though. Yeah, we're gonna get those delay turn shenanigans, unfortunately.
Hey Gothic, welcome to an unexpected stream you may not have been expecting on this channel. So this is Steamhounds. This is the game that we're making as a studio.
Yeah.
So Gothic sometimes drops into my coding streams on
Oh,
Thursdays. Awesome. So they probably have no idea what the hell this is. Do you wanna pitch Steamhounds to them?
Pitching Steamhounds. Well, Steamhounds is our turn-based kind of tactical battler here. You're seeing right now, you are seeing the multiplayer side of this game, where you pick 3 characters, you're on this little grid, you have your individual sides of the battlefield, and you kind of take turns duking it out with your little champions here, which all of them have skills, which are abilities that you use during your turn, and they also have stances, which are these kind of like passives that you choose between 2 of them at any point. And they do things on the other turns, basically. So we've got kind of a defensive one here called Sentinel that whacks people if they come into range for melee. You've got another one that does bonus damage and supports an ally when they do damage. So, yeah, this is the multiplayer part of it. It's completely functional and ready to go, and you can actually, if you're in the Discord channel, you can download a copy of it for free and play against people. So, and that's what we're doing today with our community.
Awesome. Oh, now Gothic has asked you to say it one more time, but in Japanese.
Gosh, my Japanese is really bad now. See, I started trying to learn Japanese because I was actually going to take a trip to Japan. Oh gosh, now like almost 2 years ago now.
Right? Oh yeah.
I was supposed to I was supposed to go like 2 years ago, and then COVID happened, so that was a problem. Oh, Paul, that's so close.
Yeah. Also, like in terms of like my Japanese is okay, but describing this kind of thing I think is kind of beyond me. Like to explain what kind of game this is specifically. Like it's like everyday conversational stuff is fine, but it's like talking about these specific relationships between characters and positioning and stances. That's where I find there's definitely like a difficulty cliff when you're learning a language to talk about how things relate to each other in those kind of conceptual ways. Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
It's kind of hard.
Oh.
I can say it's a good game. It's a role-playing game where
That's
I don't even know how to say turn-based or tactical game. Yeah, there's also a lot of very specific like terminology.
Yes, this is also true. Oh, no, I just did the wrong thing. Oh, I pressed the wrong button, Jason. Oh, no, I've done it again. Oh, man, I could have just closed it out. Oh, that's such a bummer. Oh, no.
Damn. That could be the turning point.
No, it should be okay still. I think what I want to do is strand the chemist. Yeah, we're just gonna strand the chemist right now.
Yeah, Fen, Japanese is a cool language to learn. It's very, very different to English, but it's pretty logical and consistent in its own way. Like once you can get over how different it is, it's kind of cool how it all works, like the grammar and stuff.
Aw, Paul, you won't give me the satisfaction. Ah, that was close. That was gonna be close though. Like if that certain stuff didn't go my way. Yeah, Warks, that happens to me more often than I'd like to admit in terms of clicking on focus instead of inspire. Oh, actually, I just messed up. We should have gone back to our new and improved stats page here. Chemist lives to fight another day now. But yeah, we have these really cool hover overs now. Quick shot MVP here. But now you can see like all the different stuff that we've done here. So for these characters up here, it mostly chose one stance, but Warrior usually has some really good reasons to switch in between stances a lot. If it was down to just Engineer and Warrior, or if Paul's Warrior got knocked out, I probably would have used Return Fire a lot more. But Levitation helps to block out that melee damage, especially because they were the one who was on their own in the upper left-hand tile. But yeah, what else we got? Curious in terms of Flame Flask focus, lots of focusing, lots of Flame Flask happening. What a good spread here on this Warrior, though. That's like really impressive. Used every single ability almost. You know, except for shove. Like that's really impressive. Oh man. Oh Fen, you should play. You should play Gothic. But yeah, no, I like all the new data that we're kind of exposing to people right now. Doing some physical, doing some elemental there. No elemental. We almost got to the elemental, but I misclicked, and we would have seen some elemental damage come out of the ranger. But hey, what can you do? But yeah, that's our new and improved post-battle stat screen. Yeah, dinner is definitely a noun. Yes. Dinner is definitely a noun. It's funny because like native English speakers probably know less about the formal language like terminology.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Like if you ask people like what an indefinite article is, it probably less than half of like native English speakers would be able to reliably tell you what that is. Or like future perfect tense and stuff like that. Like it's just so internalized. English has some like surprisingly enough, like English has a lot of weird things going on with it in terms of, you know, one-off things. So oh, okay. For some reason I assumed. My bad. I apologize.
It's because you're
like, but that only backs it up though. That only backs it up though because like not everyone like besides like middle school English class, like you never really go over those like basic terminology ever. Like grammar school, thing like that. Unless you're really, really into like writing literature or like proofreading or editing and stuff like that. Fair enough, fair enough.
I think it depends. Like in different countries, they teach English in different ways, right?
Yes, that's
Like
entirely
in
true.
terms of how much they teach you the structure of like a sentence and stuff like that formally. Like, did you used to like diagram sentences and mark? Oh, here's the
Yeah,
noun,
yeah,
subject,
we
or
did.
all that
We did
stuff.
do that, but man, because I remember doing something like that in high school once, but I think that was like an analysis of like a very complex compound sentence.
Okay,
I remember
but
doing that in high school, but most definitely I remember doing that in like elementary school.
yeah, like I remember they taught us like like noun, verb, adjective, but I don't think they ever went into like subject, object, tense, all of that stuff.
Uh,
Tell, I don't think I was ever taught that until I started to learn Japanese and then had to learn.
oh
Yeah.
yeah, like what is this? I don't know how to use this in English. Like I don't know how I'm supposed to determine if I'm supposed to use it in a different language. All right, see you later, Paul.
Cool. Take care, Paul. Yeah, Works. Do you want to drop the link in?
Yeah, drop the link in. We'll see if someone wants to hop in there. I think the rule is if you call someone out and tell them that they should play and they don't want to, you have to play. So Fen. I mean, unless Gothic wants to play, and that's totally cool.
Yeah, Gothic if you're interested. No pressure. But if you are
Yeah, no
interested,
pressure at all. Like this
uh,
is just all
in
us messing around and
Discord,
stuff.
and a bot will. Oh, sorry, I was typing in Japanese. Wrong. We have a little Discord, and if you jump in there, then a bot will DM you with download links and stuff to the game. Otherwise, just chill out
Yeah.
and watch
Watch
the
people
episode
get
between
thrashed by Warwicks.
Warwick. Yeah, that's what it looks like if you try and write the word Discord on a Japanese.
Yeah, I was gonna say like some of those. I know some of these letters. Like what's happening here?
Rox isn't tryharding. It's just natural.
I think you've internalized like how Steamhounds works at this point. I mean, that's kind of just how it is with games like this. Like once you've seen all the characters and know all the moves that they have, and like you kind of internalize like, oh, this character is fast, so I need to watch out for them. I know they're going to take their turn earlier. Oh, I know this character had high elemental defense, so maybe target that. That's not always something that people pay attention to, but once you start looking at that, you can start picking apart the numbers, figuring out how things. Hey, Fen, I really like Krillin, so I won't hear anything bad about that. Krillin's great. Krillin, strongest human, so I'll take that. Also, in defense of Krillin, doesn't he do like that crazy like, oh god, what is it called? It's been such a long time since I've watched Dragon Ball Z. It's like the spirit blade thing that he does. What is it called? I can't remember. It's like the destructive disc. Yeah, yeah. Everyone else was having such a hard time with Big Monkey, and then he destructive discs out of nowhere and saves the day because like even Goku was having an issue or something like that. I don't know. Goku was probably like in the spirit world or something stupid, doing bad dad things. Dragon Ball Z's worst dad, but anyway, Krillin's MVP. Also, you should probably tell me if you guys are in the battle so I can switch over. Also, I haven't seen Dragon Ball Z in like probably 15 years, so I'm going off of like of those characters. So I'm probably wrong in certain aspects.
Yeah, I never followed that all the way through. It's the kind of thing used to be on when I was a kid. I would catch the occasional episode, and it would be people flying around some giant valley, like, smashing the earth to pieces.
I mean,
I like,
that's like every other episode of Dragon Ball Z, so
yep.
pretty much. I like gosh, they like edited it, and I can't remember what it's called. Which they removed a bunch of the filler episodes and stuff like that, and it's actually like a lot better. I mean, it's still Dragon Ball Z, so take it or leave it, but they don't have like 5 episodes of someone powering up an attack and nothing happens, you know? Like, not even a joke, like, maybe not 5 episodes, but there were like entire episodes, and then like power up this huge move, and then it just gets deflected by the enemy. You're like, why did we just waste 2 episodes watching this and like have like internal flashbacks about them training for this one specific moment, and then nothing happened? All right, I'm gonna join that fight, no matter if no matter if you all have joined or not. Yeah, spectator. There we go.
Did Dragon Ball suffer from that thing where they were waiting for like the manga to be written, but still had to release
I don't think
episodes?
so.
That's where the filler came from.
I don't think so. Because I know, I should know this, but I don't know if Dragon Ball Z actually had a manga, because there was Dragon Ball, and that was probably all done by at that point. But I'm sure 1,000 people will know more than I do about that, because I have not read that many manga, so. All right. Got some totem action going there. Pretty relatively light terrain here this time around. We do have a health pickup, and we also have a speed up zone. So basically this is basically going to revolve around very efficient use of that health pickup, but also making sure that it doesn't mess up your positioning too much. Warwick's got a really opportune placement of the totem right in the center, which allows for some very, very ideal kind of placement of like pressure releases and stuff like that. You know, if totem survives long enough, maybe even a really big AoE attack. But we'll see. It looks like Fen is immediately targeting totem, so it's a little bit dangerous. Again, Totem, one of those characters that really shines the longer that they stay in a fight. Just, massive sustained damage output potential. But if they get knocked out early, then, you lose a lot of utility from the totem being placed on the other side, and all those incremental bonuses, pulling people down.
A lot. They're quite easy to focus down a lot of the time. They don't really have ways to defend themselves.
Yeah, I mean, they do have a way to mitigate like up to one type of damage at a time from their stances, but generally what you're going to want to do is choose the stance that gives you the biggest like offensive bonus. But there are definitely circumstances where like, oh, I know that there's going to be a ton of physical damage coming my way soon. I should probably switch over to a different stance in order to mitigate that and get like, instead of taking 20% more damage, like taking 20% less. So that can help out a lot. But I'm not sure if Totem's going to survive this one. Yeah, it looks like there is the physical defense bonus. So it looks like at the start of the round, Totem might take 4 damage, and so that'll prevent them from going. But we'll see. Yep, that's going to be exactly 4 damage, and that's rather unfortunate for Warwick's right now. So in the whole Krillin versus Goku world, Krillin's actually doing really well. So
got on the team,
Yeah, exactly.
But eventually,
I mean, maybe this is just Krillin using the Dragon Balls yet again, and move my chemist from this center spot. You pay the price. I mean, yeah, sure. But yeah, it's interesting. Warwick's has 2 full health characters and a little health pickup ready to go. Was probably really hoping that to use that health pickup, but just exact precise damage done to knock out that character. So yeah, this is going to be a little bit difficult. Warwick's does have the advantage of Fen using mostly melee characters right now. So that allows Warwick's to perhaps switch over to a levitate to keep that engineer alive a little bit longer, which will allow for things such as like, big AoE, elemental damage abilities, especially because that Berserker has like no elemental defense, so that will do even more damage at this point.
Warwick's pretty much in full-on defensive mode here with NG in return fire and Warrior with Sentinel.
Yeah, that's definitely true. I'm like, it might look like Warwick's is kind of on the back foot, but Fen will pay a little bit of a price for almost any type of offensive ability that he chooses to use at this point. Aside from maybe focusing up the chemist and, slinging flame flasks everywhere, melee damage will be, someone will pay the price for going in and doing melee attacks, but,
Plus that focused up engineer is looking pretty ominous there.
Yeah, definitely.
And also looking like they'll probably survive until their next turn at least.
Yeah, that's 32 damage. The warrior isn't really souped up at this point. No bonus damage. Instead, chooses to inspire. So, engineer is ready to go. Unfortunately, the problem with the engineer is that we do have a little bit of a status effect. So no using of focus abilities at this point. That's a little bit of a problem. And unfortunately, the way that these things added up, cannot use delay turn to kind of like shed that. So at this point, probably gonna have to switch to a levitation to be able to use that focus ability when the time comes.
I'm loving seeing some more frequent use of the focus blocking ability now.
Yeah. In very specific circumstances, it's incredibly powerful.
Yeah, like I really like the idea of this. I mean, I think it was you or Paul that came up with this, like of when we were switching around the warriors, and I really thought it was a great idea for an ability. But I just was lamenting the fact that it never saw that much use. But it seems like people are definitely coming around and realizing the utility.
Yeah, I came up with that. I really love that ability because we didn't have anything like that before. There was always the worry that it would disincentivize using focus abilities because we love seeing people use focus abilities all the time because it's such a, powerful attacks are fun and cool and we want to make sure that they're worth it. But we didn't really see it too much. But now we're seeing more and more of that use of that off balance. So now that people are using that, it especially makes the warrior very powerful. So we might have to take a peek at the warrior again in terms of tweaking, not their moveset, but probably just the overall damage that they do. The warrior is just very powerful all around. Soaking up damage. Usually they're the last one standing, so they'll get some damage bonus. So at the end, you'll have a very tanky character with a lot of damage output, but relatively easily manipulated. Depending on how things work out. It's not the fastest character, but overall pretty scary in a lot of circumstances with 2 very useful stances. So yeah, maybe taking a little bit of damage off of the warrior here and there, aside from the focus ability, which I think the focus ability should still deal a lot of damage. And speaking of focus abilities, Fen is an absolute Christmas tree right now, and just all focused up, ready to go. Ready to do something. I don't know what that is, but Fen's ready to do something. Stacking everyone up in one row definitely mitigates that fire lance, but unfortunately for Fen, fortunately for Fen right now, Warwick's warrior does not have shove, But focusing up will put Fen into a little bit of a difficult situation because Fen has to choose like, oh, do I spread out my characters a little bit and risk a damaging Fire Lance, or do I, stack them up and risk being shoved and having 2 characters take a decent amount of damage? So but yeah, Fen chose to go for a more defensive strategy there instead of flame flasking and starting to pick apart one of Works' characters, and instead decided to start healing up the Berserker, which is always an interesting choice because the Berserker, as always, uses their health as their resource to do a lot of damage. So if you just give them back more health, then they can definitely trade blows a lot more.
Yeah, it seems like Fen's kind of allowed both sides to consolidate a little bit, but it's also taken Fen out of the danger zone of that. The engineer's focus, hitting all of their characters, so... And with focus on Berserker and Warrior, Fen's poised to do some damage.
Definitely. Fen just has to choose which character that they want to try to pick apart first. Essentially, your choices are, okay, do I try to pick apart the Warrior? And at that point, it's like, well, it depends on what stance the Warrior is currently using. Because if I do melee attacks, then it's going to become a problem because I'm going to take a lot of damage. But if I want to do range damage, well, there's only one character that does that, and that's the chemist at this point. Otherwise, do I try to go for the engineer? The problem with the engineer is that it's usually being protected by the Warrior. Not in this circumstance, actually, because of the Sentinel stance being chosen instead of Guard. But so normally you would only be able to do range damage, and that, again, comes down to Chemist. So, kind of a sticky situation, but as we see right here, no matter how you kind of try to pick apart Works' combo, you're going to pay for it a little bit. So probably definitely a good idea to heal up that Berserker. Also, another difficult choice is, does Fen want to try to shift where they are? I think due to the lineup of characters that Fen has, Fen could have probably actually moved all 3 characters up to the top row and grabbed that healing buff. But instead chooses to stay down in kind of a safe defensive position. The other thing to think about is if they stay in that position, it makes it harder for one of Works' characters to hop down to that bottom row to grab that healing drop, because it puts them in the way of the Berserker's tunnel vision. Right now, no tunnel vision is happening, but, that can easily be changed. Yeah, it's, you're kind of at a little bit of a difficult situation here where there's just a lot of healing going on. A lot of healing output that's possible at this point. So it's hard to kind of pick a character to pick off really at this point. The Berserker's going to heal for another, 14 or something like that pretty soon. Well, over 2 rounds. So you're really looking at 35 health overall unless it doesn't survive. So it's going to be a little bit pricey, but we'll see what happens. I definitely think it's still possible, but, is it going to be worth trying to pick that apart? You don't really have too many options, unfortunately.
Looks like the engineer is probably going to be moving back.
Yeah, it's kind of difficult because what does the engineer do right now? The only easy opening thing is to do an arm hook to pull that Berserker out, or pin. That's another source of range damage. It doesn't do that much, but you're not going to get hit by that Intimidate or anything. So, whatever we're calling it right now, Impose, excuse me. You're not going to get hit by Impose at all, but it doesn't do quite enough damage to kind of open up the Berserker to getting knocked out soon. The one thing that Wargs has on their side is that eventually that tile will stop being in flames. And at that point, they can hop back onto that speed boost and maybe get a couple of rounds in. But it looks like Fen is going to switch which characters they have exposed. So if that Berserker does move onto the healing tile, which I think it will, it'll leave that Chemist absolutely free. But, you know, Chemist does have full health, and doing 42 damage is not that easy. So we'll see what Warx can do here. I think it's definitely possible to do a good chunk of damage, but 42 is going to be difficult in this situation just because of which characters are currently available and what their primary type of damage output is. Yeah, Chemist can be strong. I mean, there's always the possibility of, you know, using a delay turn and then having the engineer do an armor break and then going in and shoving or doing something like that, but there's a lot of things you can do here. But Warx instead opts to try to keep the pressure on that Berserker as much as possible. So we might see another pin on that Berserker, just really trying to, you know, hold down the fort here, prevent that Berserker from getting combo damage in or anything like that. But Warx is still fighting an uphill battle, but it's definitely possible to pick apart these characters. And if Warx eventually gets into a situation where it's a 1v1 kind of thing going on between Fen's warrior and his engineer, the engineer does have a little bit of an advantage because of that levitate stance. But levitate has been used a couple of times now, so that engineer is going to start taking more and more damage. The longer this fight drags on, the more difficult it's going to be for Warx, and I think that's kind of Fen's MO, is dragging this out as long as possible.
Yes.
With all the healing abilities. As we see again, so we're kind of stacking those. I think we, to be completely honest, Jason, we might want to make those non-stackable and have it just refresh the status effect.
It's very, very rare that people do it.
It is
right?
very rare, but in this specific circumstance,
It takes a special chemist-obsessed person like our dear Fen to follow this strategy.
This is gonna start to get very difficult for Warx if Fen can realistically keep up that healing on the Berserker. I mean, 14 healing in a round is like kind of, I would say, demoralizing maybe. It's just so much. Yeah, it gets a little bit difficult, especially in circumstances like this, but I think Fen's kind of figured out that little engine. I think this match might have gone a little bit differently if Warx's totem survived a little bit longer, but that was not to be. Getting a deep cut there, so that warrior's in a little bit of a pickle. We're now going after the chemist. Chemist doesn't have any damaging output, but let's see what happens here. Yeah, the other stance on a totem would have actually allowed totems to survive, just barely, I would say. But you know, you could have picked up that health pickup, done a little extra damage here and there, and that might have changed the math on some of these breakpoints on the characters. All right, breaking that defense down. I mean, I think that's really the key to getting the warrior, is just kind of breaking that defense, because they just have so many bonuses to that. I'm curious if someone can make a strategy work where they actually try to focus down the opponent's warrior. Because the warrior is just so incredibly tanky, and it's kind of the linchpin of a lot of strategies. Basically, the warrior is a lot of people's entire defensive strategy. So taking out that character as soon as possible can significantly help, but the only issue is you might lose a character along the way while doing that, because it's going to take a while before you can get your opponent down to 2 characters. Oh, Jason, in the post-battle stats, do we currently show how long the battle took?
Oh, we don't.
That's actually something that would be nice to see. I mean, that kind of goes with my whole, like, I would love to see, like, that, like, event-based timeline.
Yeah.
With, like, when characters got knocked out, or, like, when a focus ability was used, or something like that. I'm just, like, picturing, like, a little, like, bar graph or something that has, like skill icons and stuff like that, like when it happens. It could be fun. I think that could be a fun little visual thing.
Yeah, if you ever played on like chess.com, they have a pretty good little
do they?
graph which shows all the breakpoints and turnarounds and stuff.
Speaking of chess, Jason, I had a friend who was actually really interested in that Twitch plays chess thing that you made.
Okay.
I wonder how much that could be modified to make it a true, like, chat-based voting system for Twitch to play with the streamer, as opposed to, like, a one-to-one type thing, where, like, I'm sure you know about Twitch plays Pokemon and Twitch plays whatever. I wonder if you could, like, just abstract that to chess moves on a board, and it like tallies all the votes and does that.
That could be done relatively easily, I would say.
Yeah, because
I
also
come back to it. I did spend like 4 or 5 streams on that, but
I know. But Jason, chess is so hot right now. Like,
it is.
So I would be very surprised if they didn't do a Twitch plays chess thing already. Like, I would be very surprised if that didn't already exist.
Googling. My keyboard's still set.
I think they did do that already.
Which that is
4 years ago, 5 years ago. But I don't know. Oh, it's on GitHub.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah, there's a Twitch plays chess thing. I don't know how, like,
70,000 viewers took part.
Yeah, I don't know how easy that thing's like API is to use. Like, I don't know. But yeah, they were interested. They were like, oh, that's kind of cool.
Yeah, I mean, I could make that tweak like pretty easily. Like the one stream level, even less, an hour or 2.
Yeah, is it possible to have like multiple, like, I'm just curious about like high performant chess player streamers, and like if they can play like against 6 different viewers at once, you know what I mean? Like have like multiple ones set up all the time. That could be kind of cool. I was just thinking about crazy crap like that, but
yeah, I mean, to be fair, the speed at you have a big stream, and the speed at which that chat is moving, it's pretty formidable to like keep track of all of that stuff.
Oh, I'm sure, yeah.
It worked fine on our little stream with like
I know.
Okay, Ben's got to seal the deal here.
Yeah, that levitate is getting costlier and costlier, so we'll see what happens here. I mean, because if Warwick stops using levitate, there is a very, I would say, juiced warrior ready to pounce. So it's going to become a little bit of a problem unless Warwicks can knock up that warrior as fast as possible. I mean, using Pinned has actually been MVP for Warwicks this time around. So we've seen it used here very effectively to limit the offensive output of Fen, but I mean, if the warrior's just pinned, we know what Fenn's going to do every single time, and that's going to be inspire the chemist. So, I mean, the good thing for Warx is that the engineer has a naturally very high elemental defense, so it actually doesn't do as much damage. So it looks like depending on how the numbers stack up, you know, if Warx can keep on hopping around getting those health drops and stuff, it might work. But again,
I think Fen can tank the damage on the warrior, right? Even if they do break the pin.
Yeah, it's just going to be very difficult for Warx to come back from that, it looks like. I'm just trying to imagine Fen piloting a team that's like Warrior, Shio, and Chemist, just like ultimate defensive turtle strategy kind of thing. I mean, one of the main reasons why this is working against Warwick's is because of the cost of levitation at the. It's starting to cost a lot of health for Warwick's, unfortunately.
Yep. I mean, I'll never put it past Warwick's to find a way out of this, but it seems like maybe foregone conclusion at this point.
Yeah, I mean, part of the problem of that is with the warrior dying on that speed tile. If that speed tile wasn't taken up right now, then, you know, things might be slightly different, but... Oop, Fen doing a smart thing here, and for now, leaving that chemist open, but kind of dodging behind the chemist to not get hit. Thanks for playing it out, Oryx. That was we were trying to see if you could find a way to get it down to a 1v1 situation, but oh man, I just switched over again. I gotta stop doing that memory thing where I always just switch out of the battle really quick, because there's could be some really interesting things going on here. So the main number that we have to look at here is the healing provided by the chemist. And on average, healing nearly 13 health per turn. That is absolutely insane.
140 points healed.
That's crazy. Engineer, like, you know, edging out that healing just barely, but there's so much damage being dealt on this side here. But it just ended up not being quite enough.
Yeah, I mean, even the damage output from the chemist is pretty high. Yeah,
definitely. Most of it comes down to being properly defended by the warrior. If the warrior maybe got targeted before the berserker, maybe this would be a different story. Because I cannot see this situation happening, if the berserker was one of the last two up and the warrior was not. The warrior is just so good at like mitigating damage and disincentivizing people from targeting certain characters, then it would have been quite a problem. But
yeah, Inspire and Flame Flask, pretty great.
Yes, Inspire and Flame Flask are really insane. Like I remember that being something that I wanted to try to focus on before. And I was trying to make that work and didn't quite work, but I think in this very specific situation, it definitely worked very well.
Yeah. It also came down to down to 1 health margin of the totem being taken out there versus getting an extra turn, I think. So
yeah,
that sort of thing make a big difference. Finn was able to just focus them out more or less straight away.
Yep. But yeah, this that exact amount of damage on totem was unfortunately what really defined the rest of this battle. So, but yeah, just impressive stuff all around. A lot of variation in abilities used on both sides. There's so much stuff going on. and a lot of specific uses of a lot of different abilities at certain points. Very important. In the lab. Yeah, definitely. It's yeah, it's it was definitely a very interesting match.
Yeah, 100%. I enjoyed that one. So we got a bit more time. Should we try another draft, maybe?
Ooh. Who do we have in the chat then? Because yeah, if you okay, I wonder. Yeah, Warwick's. I wonder. Okay.
So I tell you what, I'll jump in with Oryx. And we'll
Okay.
figure something. If you have to roll a die, I'm sure there's one around.
To see who goes first and who chooses. So are we choosing which characters you want to use, or are the players choosing what the opponents are going to use?
I don't know. How do we want? So last time we did it, having the chat just choose all the characters,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
So we could just do a turn by turn where we can't pick the same character twice, and just me and Warwick can take turns picking characters. More of a traditional draft, I guess.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out what a fair way of doing this is, because there's ways to stagger, like character choices.
Okay. Google,
Because,
how do we draft?
well, in League, there's the thing with League is that there's 5 characters on each side. So generally, what happens is like one team chooses one, and then the next team chooses 2, and then it goes like that, and it kind of like they kind of like pass off like characters and stuff. But so let's see, if Jason chooses 1, and then Warwick's chooses 1, you want to do? All right, we can try it this way. So what I'm thinking is each player chooses 1, and then each player chooses 2. Where Jason, you will have the advantage of choosing the first character.
Okay.
And then you will also have the advantage of choosing like 2 characters first. But Warwick's will have the advantage of counterpicking all of your choices.
Okay.
Basically.
So I'm getting the first pick here. I'm going to go with Ranger.
Okay. So Warwick's, you get to choose one character, and there's no overlap either. They have to be unique characters. That is a good question. Why don't you roll the map
yeah,
first?
Yeah, let's click through to that stage, and then we'll just see what it gives us.
I mean, actually, do we just want to do it one by one? Because there is a big advantage in counterpicking as well. So if you guys just like switch off one by one character, that is probably also fine.
Okay.
Okay.
Totem. I'm going to go with Warrior.
Okay. Okay. We're gonna have like a new school versus old school kind of match.
Yeah, maybe. So the map layout is we've got 2 speed ups and a flame trigger.
Ah, I see. So
A vertical like column targeting flame trigger. So Oryx is probably smartly gone for a bit of positional control.
Area control stuff, yeah.
So I was just picking one, right? So it's back to Oryx.
Yep, Works has one more. Yeah, we're doing it one by one. So yeah, it's interesting in League. I think they've got
okay.
Like at some point, one team chooses 2 characters in a row. But yeah, I'll have to look that up.
I'll go with. Oh no, he picked engineer already. Berserker. Like on super traditional.
Super traditional.
Yeah, there's actually so many ways to do this drafting, really.
Yeah,
Quite
there's a
interesting.
lot.
Shio. Okay, I was thinking about Shio. Okay, I think we're locked in then. Okay.
Yeah, the way League works, I believe, one team picks one character, and then the alternate picking two characters, and then the opposite team gets the one last pick. So we could technically do that in like a shorter way, where team one picks one character, goes 2-2, opposite team. It sometimes makes it a little bit faster. All right, I'm gonna click into spectate time. Go. No front column here. And just try to distract Jason as much as possible during this match. All right, looks like the engineer is getting targeted first. As of right now, engineer is also ably targeted by melee characters, but Warwick's, knowing how speed stats works, might be able to switch on over to like the levitate or something like that.
Ah.
All right,
I
pulling
think
it
I
off
know where
there.
this is going.
Yeah. little incremental damage there.
No, there are downsides. There are downsides.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Interesting. Okay, so we're gonna do it with Totem instead, probably. I'm assuming. Puts Totem into an interesting position, though. But we're gonna do that. That's the whole point. It wasn't for damage. It was to get that Totem in there.
Yeah.
Can't be blinded by pure numbers at first. You gotta think about the overall strategy, especially this early in the game. All right. Oh man, here we go. Hardcore berserker strats soon. Oof, that's so rough. Jeez.
Had to go down.
I mean, it would be very fortunate for you if that engineer went down this early. Not only this early, but on top of the feed tile. So
take back this, even out this totem placement.
Yeah, it might be kind of difficult. So that's 10 health. Let's see. Check on those stats here real quick. Physical defense is neutral right now, so... And the ranger does not have the bonus damage from support, so we'll see if a quick shot is going to do it. Your base stats on that quick shot. 6 to 7. Yeah, 6 to 7 damage. I'm not sure it's going to do it at this point, but... Oh my gosh, the focus ability will. Alright, Totem is still up there. So Totem is gonna do some decent damage for a little while to that Ranger. Just by having that Totem ability. So we might get into a 2v2 situation pretty quickly here.
You know what, that was stupid. So I moved there, I'm thinking, oh, I don't want to get hooked into the front row again, but I just took out the engineer. It's weird, sometimes I make a plan and then get too focused on executing it before I realise that things have changed and it's no longer makes sense. Yeah, because I think I just killed my ranger. I mean, they're probably going to die anyway, but...
I mean, there is a way to try to mitigate that, but that would be very high risk, which is moving someone into the front column to try to soak up some hits there, but it's still kind of, it's a random chance to do that.
Mm.
But, whoa, no, there's still a chance though.
Okay.
At least
I made him spend a turn on that.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I would probably have done the same thing in Works' position as well to try to just secure that, but you know, there's always the chance that it doesn't quite work the way you want it to. Also, I see a little bit of a spelling issue with the Disruptor Blade, which is showing up as Diruptor Blade right now.
Oh no.
I don't know, maybe we have a specific technology called Diruptor, or a business called Diruptor Incorporated. Alright, down goes the Ranger. Yeah, Fen, we're gonna change one letter at a time per patch to turn it into, to morph it into the new ability.
I thought I'd totally blown any advantage I may have had with the ranger there, but
I mean, you seem to be doing alright right now.
We're looking okay.
I mean, I will say that there's 2 Shio turns coming up, so anything could happen now. I could easily see some shenanigans happening, but it really depends on what Works wants to do here. I think Works actually has the opportunity to shed both of those stacks right now. Yep, there is that opportunity to do so. Very lucky that Shio had 2 turns in a row, I would say. Not lucky, but you know what I mean. Very fortunate. Alright, trying to do some elemental damage there. Warwick's opting not to break up those stances there. Leaving them as they are for now.
Oh, the steam.
Oh, the steam indeed. Plenty of steam to go around. We do have a focused up Shio, but we gotta see what's gonna happen here. Instead, going for some big damages.
That's not nice.
No, it's definitely not. And it looks like that's probably gonna do it. All right, we got a souped up warrior. You got a souped up warrior.
It's all on you.
I mean, honestly, I would be scared, but, you know. Geo does have 2 stacks. Now 3 stacks of fatigue. I mean, this is interesting right now because you do have the opportunity. I mean, last one standing bonus with speed boost. Like, there's just a lot of stuff going on in the Warriors' favor right now, and it's still going to be a while until Works is going to get that last one standing bonus. I will say that you're definitely targeting the right character right now because I could easily see Works just switching over to a defensive healing kind of strategy if you started trying to go after Totem. So it's all going to depend on how much damage you want to tank for a little while. Ooh, it's so close. All right, opting instead to stay on that speed tile because if you move off that speed tile, the turn order becomes a huge problem.
Also, I feel like the steam's gonna follow me wherever I go.
Yeah, that's also true. You don't really have much of a choice there. Oop, Disruptor Blade coming in clutch right now.
Yeah. God damn you, Fed. Yes, one could say that.
Oh, Jason. Oh, the Disruptor Blade is just picking you apart. Oh, it's just these little tiny attacks are just doing it. Looks like the warrior will be able to get that one last attack off there. Woo, all right.
I mean,
I think that's probably going to be it, though, unfortunately. Just not quite enough, with honor. Not quite enough damage, though, you know? I mean, you got it down pretty low at that last little bit, but oh man, the
Oof.
speed though, the pure speed.
GG, GG works.
That was good. That was
Yeah,
definitely good.
I feel like I had the momentum there with the early takedown of Engineer, but I
Yep.
just kind of screwed the Rangers positioning and lost that momentum, and then Oryx just surgically tore me apart.
This is true. But yeah, a lot of Disruptor Blade there, kind of pushing you back just enough. Oh, poor Engineer. Only got off a arm hook or two. One arm hook, and then got knocked out. But that's what happens in this game, you know? You gotta properly defend your characters, because if you don't, they're not gonna be able to get much off, then
Yeah, fair.
probably
Like, look at these healing numbers, zeros across the board.
zeros across
That's
the
why I
board.
lost.
Yeah, exactly. Should have picked Chemist.
I mean, yeah, maybe I should have done, but
Who wasn't chosen here? It was Chemist
and Bolt.
and Bolt. So imagine if you had an extra 140 health. Yeah. Yeah. Oh man. Healing stats though. So much healing. Oh man.
That was good though.
Excellent. All right, cool. I think that's just about gonna do it for today.
Hmm.
Fun stuff. Gosh, the ridiculous battle with incredible amount of healing. Healing worth about almost 3 Steamhounds worth, probably, or yeah, about 3 Steamhounds worth of healing. I believe, was it like 140, something ridiculous like
Yeah,
that?
it was.
Yep. So healing can go a long way, especially
Led to a
yeah.
good battle though. Yeah.
Oh, definitely, yeah.
No, I enjoyed that. Then I thought that was a fun. You know, if every battle goes like that, then maybe it gets old. But like, it's nice to see battles that can have look totally different to each other in terms of how they play out and the pacing and the whole roller coaster of it.
Yeah, it's you always want kind of like preferably the dominant strategy in a game is going to be more of a mid-range kind of thing. Preferably like or the vast majority of games you want to have like of an average length that is acceptable to everybody, because you don't want fast strategies being the best, because it always makes the loser feel like they couldn't have done anything and everything went too fast and they didn't have an opportunity to strategize against that. You really don't want really defensive long-term strategies being the most dominant ones, because it drags out all the matches.
Yeah.
So you really want that kind of like that sweet spot where it's still possible to have highly aggressive strategies and still possible to have highly defensive strategies, but you either don't want that to be the most, dominant stuff, or you don't want the vast majority of your players doing those strategies.
Yeah.
So it's good to see like a mid-range kind of stuff being more of the dominant stuff, where there's still an opportunity for either fast strategies or really defensive strategies to come out ahead, but it shouldn't be a guaranteed thing for either of those. So yeah, long battles are fine and cool as long as they're like novel to the players and it doesn't happen every single time to them when they go to like, queue up for a match. Because the long ones are always like super high drama, and so long battles that it looks like it could go either way are good. Long battles
Yes,
that
exactly.
it doesn't, that is just like a foregone conclusion and someone's just bleeding the other one out, is usually not ideal. But
Yeah, I noticed defenders play not necessarily the greatest, most efficient damage output, but it was just solid and safe. And I mean, you have a healer. That's what it's there for, I suppose. It
yeah, the
worked
health
out.
packs also help though in that one specific circumstance, where the health packs can, in addition to a highly defensive healing kind of strategy, those can help, unless you kind of get positioned out fight characters where it's really bad to pick those up. And we kind of saw that a little bit in that fight where it was difficult for Fen to all of his characters different would have had to move all of his characters at once into a different row in order to safely pick up a health pack. But it was better than just being able to do that every single time it spawns and just like not having a a price to pay for it. But yeah, so hopefully next patch, would it be safe to say that we can see another terrain feature?
Yes, I think that's for definite.
Yeah, we've been cooking up a few of those, so it'll be sure to give you more reasons to move onto something or away from something, depending on which one we choose this time. So
Exactly.
we will see what happens. But anyway, more icons for you to make. Not right now.
I mean, icons for these things, we need to figure that out in terms of UI, like how these are presented. I imagine we want them to have icons, probably, for the tooltips.
Yeah.
But then it depends. We don't know, like, diegetically what we want them to actually look like on the battlefield either. So that kind of has to come first, I guess. Because unlike status effect, so Context Fen is making icons right now for all of our status effects and all of that kind of things. But for these terrain objects, they have like physical manifestations as well. So yeah, I guess that would have to come before the icons.
Yeah, and that's kind of a difficult thing with some of these more abstract things, because the difficulty is we will have more than one battlefield, and if a a terrain feature makes sense on one battlefield, but it doesn't make sense like on another one, then you have an issue of do I change the icon? Do I this?
Why are there rocks on this? Like,
yeah, why are there rocks
industrial...
inside? Like, why are there rocks inside of this church? Like, what's what's happening here? Why do we have rocks? Like, there's things like that. Like, why is there falling debris that look like rocks coming from the rafters here? Like, there's issues with that, but I think there's also like it's a game, so it might be okay to have some of this stuff not be in the fiction of the game and stuff like that, but it all depends on your kind of like outlook on it. It's one of those things where we're just gonna have to shake it out and see what works, what doesn't work.
Right now it's kind of mixed, right? Some things have a very obvious way to have them appear, and other things like these speed ups are like totally abstract. So
yes,
I don't know if we'll totally reconcile those and have it totally consistent, but I don't know. I'm kind of okay with them being a mix.
Yeah, I'm honestly, I'm fine. I'm totally fine with that. Obviously, what we have right now needs to be probably stylized a little bit more. To fit in with our kind of whole look and feel. But I'm fine with things that are more gamey and stuff like that. That's totally fine, because it is a game. So there is that conceit.
Yes.
So, but yeah,
Okay.
I think that's gonna wrap it up for today. As always, always a really good time playing with members of the community. So if you're hanging around and if you're new to Steamhounds, just pop in that Discord, follow us on Twitter to see all the newest news and patch updates and behind the scenes kind of stuff. And we're on Steam actually right now, so you can wishlist us, and that helps us out a lot. Yeah, anything you want to do, we totally support you if you want to check out more about Steamhounds. So, and if you missed that from before, if you join our Discord, you'll get messaged by a bot, and it'll give you access to the game. It'll give you game download and login information and all that kind of good stuff. If you don't get messaged by that bot, just let us know, and we'll hook you up.
You can join us in 2 weeks on the next stream.
Yeah, definitely.
And lose to Warwick just like I did.
This is true. But yeah, all right. Well, until next time. See you later, y'all.
Cool. Take care, everyone. Bye-bye.